It was on July 30th when Konami truly got the hype for PES 2019 going for a lot of football fans. This was the date when the Japanese game development company announced that they had entered an official licensing partnership with the two Scottish giant football clubs, Rangers and Celtic. It was confirmed that the two teams would be fully licensed, meaning that not only would the kits be in the game, but the players would also have fully featured face scans. But the real selling point was that the two historic grounds, Ibrox Stadium and Celtic Park, would be present in the game. All of this came on the back of the announcement that the Scottish Premiership was also now licensed for Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. Konami confirmed that the stadiums would be added in data packs after the release. Whilst this worried me at first, PES fans were quick to decrease those fears for me, assuring me that Konami are usually very prompt with these updates, and so the two grounds should be released very early on in the game cycle. Well, PES was released in August. We're now approaching mid-October as of the time of recording this, and there is still no sign whatsoever. To make matters worse, Konami can't even be bothered to appease any of the fans inquiring about it. Regularly, there are fans on Twitter asking when either Ibrox or Celtic Park are coming, and they won't even receive a response. Not even something generic along the lines of, "We're working on them and they'll be in the game very soon." Not that that would make it any better. I myself have even tried posing the question to Konami on Twitter to no success. Despite Konami's ignorance of the matter and lack of communication, there were rumours suggesting that the grounds were set to be released at the end of September 2018. I even found this article online when I originally began to look into these rumours, which showed a video of Celtic Park supposedly for the first time in PES 2019. However, as I was watching it, something seemed off. Having played a fair amount of PES 2019, I noticed that it didn't quite look the same. The crowd members were different. There was no segregation lines between the two sets of fans, and the atmosphere didn't look similar to that you would find in PES. Any PES fans watching this would have almost certainly noticed this. I looked in the comments of this article and someone claimed that it was a fan project using the Unreal game engine, which would seem to explain the issue. As a result, this would quash any rumours suggesting the stadiums were ready to go. For someone like me who is in the middle of a Glasgow Rangers Master League series on this channel, it becomes even more frustrating because it puts a dampener on the experience for not just myself, but also for viewers like you guys as well. It becomes far less immersive when people have been promised something, may have even bought that game based on the premise of that promise, and are yet to receive the product they expected. It gives me the feeling that my series will actually come to an end before Ibrox Stadium is even released in the game, which would be so disappointing. I've even tried to slow down the number of uploads per week that I'm doing for the series to combat this, which is why any of you guys watching who are regular viewers of the series and on my channel will have noticed a slight drop off in uploads for this series. It's not only the stadium issue that I feel has let the fans down, but also the face scans. There are still a whole load of scans that are yet to be included, which is far less demanding than that of the stadium. The worst thing is that Konami have actually imported some of them, whilst others are yet to be included. I didn't understand why this was the case at first, but now I believe I may have the answer. The likes of Ryan Kent and John Flanagan, for example, already have faces on the game because of their previous time at Liverpool, so they were already sorted. And then you have the likes of Alfredo Morelos, Scott Brown, Craig Gordon and Candeas, and a couple more, etc., who also have their face scans present. These were clearly chosen because they were the poster boys for the announcements. The two images that you are seeing are the images that were used when the partnerships were announced. So they obviously wanted to front the campaigns with a statement showing that they are complete and full licenses. But for every other player at Celtic and Rangers that were neither previously scanned or fronting the advertising campaigns, they've just been left out for the time being. It's as though the artists and development team have said to themselves, right, we've got those face scans in that we needed, so we'll just leave the rest now until a later date. It's just so frustrating. Now, of course, I realise there are two sides to every argument, and I intend to put that to use here. Konami will probably argue that these partnership deals were agreed very late, probably in around June or July, as a result of the company losing the licenses to the UEFA competitions. So with that surplus budget, one of the things they purchased with it was these partnerships. So as a result, they've had less time to incorporate this into the game. Now, that's fine. I understand that you've had less time than usual. They may have also waited for the football season to start so that they could go to the stadiums on match day and scan them to try and replicate the atmosphere, because I know they like to do that with other partnered clubs like Barcelona, Liverpool and Schalke, etc. That's not a problem, but in that case, at least communicate with your fans rather than ignore them. Give regular updates about your progress and where you are with the development rather than casting the fans aside. You won't be spoiling anything because the announcement has already happened. We already know the stadiums are set to be released, so why hide things? You don't even have to show the fans the products, and just at least give regular updates and communication. It would then at least stop the constant criticism from the customers and would prevent people like me from making these sorts of videos, when I'd much rather be enjoying the fully licensed partnerships on the game at their finest. But either way, that still doesn't excuse the facial scans issue. If you can quickly get around 10 faces ready for the promotional campaign, then the 3 months you've had since then up until this point is way more than enough to get the rest done and released. It's simply not good enough in my opinion. At the end of the day, if you don't provide that communication, people will just lose interest. Not just in you, but the game as a whole. They don't need some YouTuber like me to tell them this. They should already know. When your product stagnates in any type of market, people lose interest. And in a market that moves and evolves as quickly and regularly as the gaming industry, it's vital that you keep up with the pace, especially at this time of the year. There are so many titles that have either just or are about to be released. I'm thinking FIFA 19, Forza Horizon 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2, to name just a few. With these being released, people will now easily make a complete switch from the stagnant games to the new ones. To suggest something like, well, most of these games have a different audience to us, would just be completely ignorant and wrong, in my opinion. These titles are massive mainstream games that will collectively sell hundreds of millions of copies on a global scale. If your game can't offer something new during this phase, it won't even get a look in from a lot of people. So what do you guys think? Am I just talking a load of nonsense and should I get off Konami's back? Or is everyone else also getting impatient about the slow release time and the fact that there is next to no communication from the company regarding the issue? Make sure to let me know in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Check out my Rangers Master League series currently ongoing on my channel, or I've got regular FIFA 19 feature videos available for you as well to give a go if you prefer. I might even have some Call of Duty Black Ops 4 content coming out later this week. I'm yet to decide, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for more regular gaming content. Leave a dislike if you didn't like it and let me know what I can do to improve. That's not a problem either. On that note, I've been Brom18 and I'll see you next time.